Hello and welcome to the Photoshop Picasso Portrait assignment. And you guessed it, we're going to make a Cubist Picasso style portrait, except we're going to use photos instead of paint and a canvas. All right, so I'm going to start with a front facing photo and a side facing photo. And this is what our end result should look something like this. And then we can change the colors, do all sorts of cool stuff. And our goals here are to learn how to use layer masks and also how to use smart filters. All right, so I'm going to start with opening up front and side facing views that are saved into my folder that I created for this assignment on OneDrive. So I've got front facing, and then we're going to go open, file, open, side facing. All right, so the first thing I want to do, just like when I open any photo here that I'm going to use in some sort of production, is I'm going to use the spot healing brush to clean little blemishes here and there. There's probably not any on this particular person. Let's check the other one here. Some of these lines, get rid of those. And I could press the Z key and zoom in here and look for more, but I doubt there's going to be any blemishes here to remove. So we're going to go to the side facing view, because what we're going to do is we're going to take this image and we're going to add it to this image file. So our front facing is going to be the base. And then I'm also going to make this not the background layer anymore. Whenever you open an image in Photoshop, it'll come in as one layer if it's a JPEG, and it'll be locked as a background layer. All right, so I'm going to go over here, and I don't need this whole image. So I'm going to grab the rectangle marquee tool and select the subject's head here, and then I'm just going to go edit, copy, or Control C, and then go over to this image here. And first I'm going to press Control 0 to zoom out, and then I'm going to press Control V, or what would be edit, paste. All right, so then actually I don't even need this file anymore, so I'm going to close that. And then what I'm also going to do here is save this as my Picasso Portrait Photoshop file. So I'm going to go File, Save As, and you can see right now it's a JPEG, and this little star right here means it hasn't been saved. It's in RGB color mode, and it's 8-bit. Okay, so I'm going to save this as Picasso Portrait, and then underscore my name. I'm going to say Demo2. Just so you know, my name is not Demo2. All right, let's hit save. Oh, it already exists. Yes, I'm going to replace it. All right, so now we have two images, and if I wind up skewing this or adding filters to this thing, I want to like lock this in. So it's kind of like saving these images as they are, as kind of like an instance. So to do that, I'm going to convert these to smart objects. So think of like it's smart to save, so that's kind of what the smart objects do. So when I right click the layer, all this is right there, convert to smart object. So now this layer image, I'm kind of saving this instance of that layer. I'm going to do the same thing with the other layer. So select that layer, and then I could right click this image, or I could go to the layer panel options and then convert to smart object. All right, so both of these layers are smart objects. Next thing we're going to do before we pause for video 2 is we're going to create the mask. Excuse me. So, well, I need to align these actually. So I'm going to lower the opacity. What I want to do is I want to align this edge of the curve of the nose here with, oops, I turned the opacity down on the wrong one, with this curve of the side of the nose. So I'm going to go back up to the top layer, and I'm going to turn the opacity down just a little bit so I could see the image beneath it, maybe a little more than that, let's say 65%ish. I'm at 62%, and then I'm going to use the move tool and just move this around. Then I might need to also resize it a little bit, like this head is much bigger than the other one. So what I'm doing is we're going to free transform. So I'm going to go edit, free transform, or just hitting Control T, which is a good keyboard shortcut to know. And then I could just grab the corners and line up the nose edges, and then just shrink this down a little bit more. All right, that's looking pretty good. Then I would hit the check mark or press the Enter key. And then I'm going to actually leave this opacity kind of low right now. So what we're going to do is create a mask. And all that I need to do that is click on this little icon on the layers panel. Looks like a Japanese flag, so I'm just going to click on it, and then I've got a white box next to my layer. So that white box means that everything on this layer is revealed. Now, when I have this white box selected opposed to the layer selected, the layer image selected, see I can select that. When I paint with black, I could start hiding things, or painting with white, revealing. So a fun trick is that switching between white and black, or switching to the default, which is white foreground and black background, I could press the X key to go back and forth from those. And so I'm going to grab the brush key, and I'm going to brush with a medium hardness brush. So what that means is, so if I go up to my brush, my options bar here, I turn the hardness all the way up to 100. See, it's got a very hard edge. Oops, I'm brushing with white right now, so I'm going to switch to black. See, I'm hiding different parts of this layer, and it's revealing what's beneath it. Right. But if I go up here in my options bar, right click, and I change the hardness down to 0, you can see that's how I could start blending. Right. So I'm going to go somewhere in the middle, 40%, sounds good. And then I want to get this edge. I want to hide everything from the front, so I'm going to keep this edge from the side view, but I want to hide everything from the side view to reveal the front-facing view. Then I'm going to use the brackets to make the brush bigger. All right. And then I'm going to turn the opacity back up. And I can see that I'm going to need to add some more white here. That's okay. And then I'm going to press the Z key and click and drag to zoom in a little bit. Then I'm going to go back to the brush and make this a little bit smaller and reveal this eye. And then also make it a little smaller with the brackets and reveal this nose. So I've got... Now, I would go in and really refine this. See, I need to like switch, go back to painting, make the brush size smaller here, and kind of fix that a little bit. Oop, that's a little too much. So I'm going to press X again. You can see how like this is just doing a tinker a little bit. So I'm going to pause the video here. We're going to get to a good point where this kind of looks blended. So I'm going to be changing the brush size, right clicking, changing the hardness maybe down to 0. There we go. Yeah, something along the lines of that. And we're going to be, if I zoom out here, I'm not going to worry about much besides this little area because we're going to wind up cropping it down to here. Okay. All right, so this is a good place to stop. I'll see you guys in video 2.